Performing Arts Center and was then invited to perform at Guru Vayur Temple in I'm 14 years old. Freshman. I've been dancing for 14 years. I'm also trained in many other styles. You guys just know. And 10 years old, 14 years old. So for many of y'all that don't know much about Bharatanatyam, I'm going to tell you a little bit about it. Bharatanatyam is almost 2,000 years old, and it originated from the temples of Tamil Nadu. It used to be told to tell stories about gods and deities. In Bharatanatyam, there's many techniques and vocabulary. Some techniques are hastas, which is the hands, adavus, which is sequences used, and also abhinaya, which is facial expressions. There's also many parts of Bharatanatyam, like the costume, as in that picture right there. That's the costume that I wore when I did Nitram. There's, I'm pretty sure, about 6 pieces to a costume, and the process to get a costume, or my process, was first you go to a sari shop, you pick out your sari, then you go to a tailor shop, you get your measurements, and it's all personalized towards you, which is super fun, and probably one of my favorite parts of my own Nitram. Another thing about Bharatanatyam is there's always music and orchestras and musical instruments. Some common musical instruments are dhangamis. As you can see in the picture right there, towards the very left, that's the dhangamist, and then that's my guru right there, and then the singer, and then the violin, and then the flautist. A little bit more about Bharatanatyam. You often dance on themes. The themes usually have to do with gods. Like I said, for example, you have Krishna, you have Vishnu, you have Shiva. There's many gods that you can dance on. Guru, obviously, that's my guru right there, Vidyanti. She's been teaching me all these years, and I'm super grateful for her. Something that people don't usually talk about is Bharatanatyam has lots of relevance to nowadays Bollywood and nowadays the Western styles, because Bharatanatyam is often danced about folk stories, like I said, Krishna and Vishnu, and a lot of times, in my case, Western dances, there's things like the Nutcracker and ballet, which is also danced around folk stories, and Bollywood is obviously also folk stories, and all dance ties together, all has a common ancestry from somewhere, so I can always see very similar dance moves that I do in all of these things. So here's some key elements of Bharatanatyam. First, you have hand gestures. Some hand gestures are, this is Suchi. Can everyone do Suchi? Good job. Next, this is Mushti. Good job. Now, how would you guys think you would show a deer? This is a deer. What about a bird? It's two-handed. Wait, so there are arabus. Two very common arabus. One is very where you stand like this, you jump, and you step 8 times. So it'll be like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's great. So that's one. That you will see. If you go to one you'll see that a lot. They usually use that to move around the stage if you want to go side to side and up and down. Another one is with the Can everyone say that? With the yes. And that is very simple actually. You just jump it. But a lot of times you'll have complex hand movements. So you can just do this. Which one favorite is facial expressions. I think facial expression is a very fun way to act when I'm on stage. One of my favorite facial expressions to do is like when Krishna is like falling in love and stuff, or is playing his flute. I just love to like imagine what that character is feeling and just put myself in their shoes and feel their emotions. And yeah, that's my favorite thing. So one facial emotion is surprise. How would you guys think you would do surprised? Yeah, like this. Yeah, it's usually raising your eyebrows, opening your mouth, something like that. Next is shock. How would you do shock? Yeah. Next is anger. How would you do anger? Come on, baby's doing anger. Good job. And the last one is laugh. Laughter is easy, except it's kind of hard because you can't make a noise. So you're just like, can everyone try laughter? Yeah, very good. So those are the little ABCs to magic. But if you put them all together, you get a jati. Jati is using abhinayas and using footwork and that's always in a piece. You always have jatis in a piece. Next, I'm going to show you a jati from my Varna and Krishna. One jati that I just showed you. Many jatis. Okay, so when you're doing a performance, so now we've moved on from the ABCs. Now, when you're doing a full performance or a full piece, there's a beginning, a middle, and an end. Like everything at the beginning and an end. In a performance, the beginning is always a pushpanjali. What is a Pushpanjali? It's a piece where you say thank you, right? You're saying thank you to your teacher, of course. You're saying thank you to the musicians. And if you can see that picture, I'm saying thank you to the musicians. But, and the most important, you're saying thank you to Mother Earth. Now people might say, why are you saying thank you to Mother Earth? Well, you're saying thank you to Mother Earth because I'm stomping on Mother Earth with my bare feet, right? So you need to say thank you because that's what I'm doing. Why do you show gratitude? Well, you show gratitude because because I'm in my dance journey right now, and I'm gonna need all the support that I need, right? So everyone, I need to say thank you to them, to show respect, and thank you for their support. So, can everyone please turn the person next to you and say thank you? Now I'm gonna dance. I came in the middle and said thank you. Next is the middle portion of a piece. The middle, usually you tell a story. You tell about a god, about a deity. You're just performing. Usually when you're doing the middle section, you're doing it to the common people who are there to watch you. Usually the common people are there to watch you because back in the olden days, many people didn't know how to read. So you would have to, these would come see dances to see how it works. Huh? Yeah, see how it works. Reads. That's the only way they can really get the information. So why? Well, I just said because they couldn't read, so there was not many books written. You didn't have Netflix, you didn't have Hulu to be able to watch these things. You have to have a dance performance that you will watch it and see it with your own eyes to really understand the story. So I'm going to do an example. I'm going to do a piece from Krishna's birth. I'm going to do a piece from Krishna's birth. yeah, saying it to family, friends. So among them is the last part of the dance. And the dancer wishes everyone peace, well-being, wealth, and great happiness in their life. It's usually to their friends, their family, and even the enemies. Yeah, they do it to show the thanks. So from what you just saw, you can tell that there are many benefits from dance. Obviously, one of them is the physical activity that you get, and the physical exercise. But also, movement brings happiness. When I dance, I forget about my problems, and I just love to dance. You'll always see, if I'm dancing, you'll never see a frown on my face. I'll always be happy because dance just brings out the best emotions in all of us. Obviously, when I dance, I have good muscle memory because I've been dancing. But while teaching workshops, I see that when teaching dance, people can easily pick up things. That muscle in your brain can easily work, and you can easily just pick up those dance moves. It just sticks. I can't explain it. It just sticks, and it's a lovely sight to see. For me, one benefit is I've gotten more connected to my Indian heritage and my Indian culture. I've learned more stories, and it's nice to be able to share that with my grandparents and my parents and my siblings, and we can all bond over that aspect. I hope you learned something from today.
First time going through the presentation, so I was surprised as what you guys are about to see on this. I just finished this while I was giving my laser presentation, so I thought it was just nice. Alright, so I'm going to be talking about my own spiritual journey and how artwork has helped me do this. And I really hope you guys can enjoy the presentation. I'll first start off by talking about my artwork and myself and the type of artwork I do, and then I'll dive into inspiration, certain artworks, and then kind of see where we go from there. Alright, so some stuff about me is that I'm 17 years old, I'm a senior in high school, I'm graduating, still deciding where I'm going from college. Top two choices are UT Austin and college, so we'll see. I've been learning Hindustani classical music from Vidushi Vinita Arora ji in Houston, and she's from Delhi. And so I love it, Hindustani classical music is something that I've been learning, or been wanting to learn since I was a kid, watching Pandit Jasraj, Ashwini Guriji, and all these great people, like watching them sing and falling asleep to Jagdeep Singh Ji's bhajans. I had that urge to want to learn and be able to at least reflect, even 1% of that beautiful, culture that brought me up and created me and made me what I was today. And so I've been doing art since I was a kid. My mom tells me, I have phases. So I go from drawing Kali Mata to going to Shiva, and I'll make like 50 paintings of Shiva, put them in the whole temple and say that, guys, we got more pictures, more puja, gotta be happening. And so I'd have like different phases. I remember starting off with Durga Mata. She was one of my main, and she still is, We have that bar factor. But yeah, I've lived in New York, Connecticut, California, India, and now in Texas. I think that most of my inspiration came out from living in India between 2017 and 2019. We were very close to Vrindavan be able to contribute to this beautiful idea and concept. History enthusiast, animal caretaker. You can see that Shangu in the second picture. In the first picture, that's Skanda. They're brothers and they're also my favorites. And some more other artists. To call this. Alright, so this is the story of my artwork. You can see the bottom things, those were my oldest ones that I still have pictures of. So that's, Ardhanarishwar, that's Krishna Narayan, and then that's Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And then you can see like some of my first digital arts was that was actually a doodle for Google. They do this every year where they ask me a doodle. And so I made, Ganesha, Jagannath, Subhadra, Balbhadra, and Shiva. And then these are my older artworks from around 2020. Some of my starting digital artworks. I was kind of delving into the art or into the world of digital art. So we have Vishnu on top, in the middle we have Raman Avatar, and at the bottom we have Radha. And when the pandemic hit, I got really interested in digital art. I had an old iPad and I started working with that. And then my art account initially started off as a personal account, as I gained followers. I changed it to an art account, and now it's a professional account. It started off as Survi art since I've been growing up on a farm, so I was like, Survi means cow, Radha means Survi, Lord of the cows, Krishna, and then soon I changed it to Kadamba, something more modern. So I have a website as well, which I created. It's kadamba.com. It's a platform where you can buy and sell NFTs. I really fell off with it. I plan on redoing it soon and kind of getting it up and going again. It's super nice and it has a nice aesthetic that also matches my artwork and kind of brings that modern and savvy feel to my contemporary work. So now let's talk about inspirations. So I kind of wrote like a small paragraph, that rich heritage of musicians, artists, singers, composers, and my goal is to basically combine as many of those and make artwork that really touches people's hearts. So we have Surdas, who was a 16th century devotional poet and singer who described Lord Krishna's attire every day before the curtains opened. Surdas was blind since birth, but every day he would sing these beautiful buds. And as soon as those curtains opened, people would be amazed to see Krishna wearing the same clothes that Surdas described just 2 minutes ago. And Lal Bhaktivinoda was a mystic saint of the 15th century who composed and sang close to 32,000 songs or sankirtanas. And all of them are still very well known today, just like there's a lot of joy to that. And then we have Arda, who was a Vaishnava of the Sri Sampradaya, considered to be an incarnation of Sita, the Lord of the Rama, who appeared in the early 7th century and was renowned for verses that captured the intense yearning to serve Lord Vishnu. Each of these ancients and circle Moors had their own unique way of seeing this divine entity known as Rama, and bringing ancient Indian visions, be it from devotional songs, literature, and poems, to a contemporary world is basically what my goal is. Basically trying to see what these beautiful sages had in their mind while they were singing these beautiful bhajans. So the idea behind making the artwork is, so this painting right here is Vijayendra Tirtha, and so basically the story goes is that he was walking back home from a temple, and a snake came and bit his leg. And so Vijayendra Tirtha is a great devotee of Guru Narasimha. So as soon as he saw that the snake bit his leg, he ran back to the temple and he started singing the Shodash Babu Narasimha Ashtakam, which is a very beautiful, ashtakam dedicated to him, where he basically says, Babu Mam Narasimha, please save me. Like, he's still on this earth, but he's asking Narasimha to give him mukti and take him to the higher loka. And then on the left we have Mirabai, and this is a painting inspired by one of her greatest pieces, Sakhi Main Giri Giri Garaj. Basically, my main goal, and I've been repeating it, is to somehow bring those words into existence in art. So now I'm going to go into a few of my artworks. So this is Mirabai. I think I have art prints on this, I'm not sure. So the description which I used to make this artwork is Jinke Piya Parades Pasand Hai, Nikasi Ki Bhejan Apati, More Piya Mo Mahi Pasand Hai, Kamun Ahi Jati. So Mirabai, she kind of makes fun of people for having husbands. So she's like, those who have lovers reside far away, and you may send them letters, but they might never receive them. But my beloved Krishna, he lives within me. He comes and goes as he pleases. And I kind of realized that my artwork is vital to my spiritual growth, and that decreasing the time I spent making artwork decreased my sense of spirituality. I got stuck in entangled in the wrong things, staying up too many days, wanting to go out to wrong places and everything else. And I realized that my artwork growing up, I've been so connected to this artwork that, taking the art out of my life took the spirituality out of my life. And since then, I've kind of understood that my artwork should be made to make art, but kind of for my own spiritual growth. So for example, this is a painting I made, and it's based off of Vandish in Radha, and it has three simple lines. Angana mein nanda lala thumaka thumaka chalata jala kita mukta naga rakrita kundalana kija. So this is created by the great Pandit Rajan and Sajan Mishra. And so these three lines, they're basically talking about Krishna playing in the courtyard of Nanda. Now, you might have a different description of what that means. Somebody else might think, oh, Krishna, as a baby playing. I have a different description. And so when I made this painting, I was like, so these artists or these musicians, they create this kind of line work. They're saying that, Krishna's playing in the yard now. If he wants to be playing with, the Gopas, that's something else. If you want to think that he's playing with Yashoda, that's something else. If you want to think that he's playing with Nanda, that's something else. And so basically, like puzzle pieces, taking these lyrics and making an artwork based on those lyrics was a creative area where I could put in my own spiritual understanding of that. And so based on that, I make artworks, taking those lyrics, thinking about what the artists or the musicians were thinking while making this art, and then using my own spiritual understanding to fill in the gaps of those artworks. And so, like for example, this is a Vanda and Ranganath. This was based on one of Vanda's pasurams. And so in this, she's yearning for worshipping the lotus feet of Ranganath. And so it's a very beautiful pasuram. I don't know Tamil, so I would not want to try to pronounce it, but it's a very beautiful artwork. It's one of my favorites, and it's also a very dear piece to me. And then, for example, this is one of my most famous paintings. It garnered over 50,000 likes on Instagram. It's kind of making semi-famous on Instagram. And so this is a painting based off of Nagaraja's Sita Kandera. So this, they talk about the beauty of Sita and the beauty of Rama. And so this, I took the first line. Bhavana Jastuti Bhavana Bhavana Charitu Ravi So is the lovey soul of man. His eyes are like the sun and moon. And so he supposed to have depicted the sun and the moon in his eyes. And then there are other reviews where he's talking about his Buddha and so I actually have a print of this painting in my house, you guys can see that. But he talks about the beautiful Buddha and how it's decorated with different ornaments. And how Rama stands on it and gives ashirwad to all of the Pandavas. And so like that, I try to take different parts of different music pieces and add them all together to create these beautiful big pieces. And then I also do more regional, based on regional pieces. Like for example, this is a piece in Red Pasha, which is the Pasha which is the dialect of Bengal. And so this was a holy piece. And so it's the name of the music that inspired this is Brigadani Koyare. And so the lyrics go, Atalas Kuro Apo Lehenga Sole, Jamaka Sari Mone Mulamas, Brigadani Koyare Mulamas. So in this, it's created by Purushottam Das. In this painting, Purushottam Das calls Radha the one with the deer-like eyes. So though you guys can't see the way from that eyes, they're created in the same style of deer's eyes. And so it's talking about Atalas Kuro Apo Lehenga Sole. सूरज जाएगा जाएगी धरनी आकाश में और अटल रहेगा बनासी. So she's going to say that the sun is going to fade away soon enough. The moon is also going to fade away soon enough. But if something's going to remain, that is going to be my love, who is Krishna. So that's one of my artworks. And then I do more artworks which are more like this. So this is known as Karkapa. This artwork is the title is Karkapa. So this is based off of a Drupad. A Drupad is one of the oldest Indian classical music styles. And so in this, it's a very beautiful Drupad in Ragpuri in which Tansen, who is the godfather of Hindustani classical music, he describes this beautiful form of Shiva. And he talks about Karakapala Lochana Traya Pancha Vadana Dasha Bhushita Bhushana Shiva Jata. So he's talking about Karakapala. So in his hand he holds the human skull. Lochanatraya, having 3 eyes. Panchamukha, having 5 faces. Dasamukha, having 10 hearts. Bhushita Bhushana Shiva Jata Mukha. Wearing ornaments, Shiva, he adorns the Jata Mukha. And so like that, I'm not going to go into too much detail since I'm out of time. But I try to take each line of these and depict that description, because when Tansen was singing this, he was probably sitting down, having his tantra in hand. But that vision that he thought of is what I'm trying to depict. And then, other than that, I also do a lot of Shilpa Shastra. Shilpa Shastra is one of the oldest type of Indian artwork, which is basically making artwork through mathematical equations. So this painting here is Vishnu, and he was inspired by the Gandhara school of art. What artists would do is that they would take palm leaf for measurement, and based on the diameter and length of that palm leaf, they will create this beautiful masterpiece. So for me, I couldn't use a palm leaf because I do digital art, but I took a palm leaf and narrowed it down to 100 pixels. Based on that, I then created this beautiful artwork of Chaturmurti Vishnu, and as I said, it's inspired by the Gandhara school, which is part of the northern Indian region. So now talking about my own experiences, I'm on a mission this year to bring back my account back to its former glory, since I kind of fell off with junior and senior year of high school. You don't really have that much time to really do artwork since you're focused so much on school. And I somewhat lost interest in art in the sense that I would be spending 30, 40 hours per week making this artwork, and everyone is Namaskar or Krishna. And so now, these are 2 videos I'll show you now. And basically, now I'm going to go into the actual connection between the music and the art. So the first painting is based off of, I don't know if it's really bad, but these paintings, so for example, this painting is a Hanuman, and it's created in, I don't remember the raga of this, but basically it's a very light raga. you listen to this, it's part of the Vinay Mandika. It's called Jaki Kari Hanuman Ki. So in this artwork, he's talking about whoever has the blessings of Hanuman, nobody can stop him. So in this, I kind of try to depict Hanuman with that same valor that Tulsidas loves about. So this painting, which I'll play, is based off of Raga and Rag Madhuvan. So when you listen to Rag Madhuvan, you think of feelings of despair and longing, and so it's a very rich rag. And Madhuvanti basically means the one which is like honey. So this is a painting of Shiva that I made in Rag Madhuvanti, and it's a very small, it's a Vilambit condition. So usually in Hindustani music, Vilambit conditions will only have 2 to 3 lines, and based on those lines, they will be adding those akaras which then create that Vilambit condition. So this is based off Rag Madhuvanti, and you can see the colors, the color scheme that I use really reflects the deepness and that richness and longing of that art. Hopefully the audio is well this time. The audience, which was kind of an integral part of showing the connection between the music scheme and the color scheme. For example, this painting I created it during the Kumbhabhisheka of Shai Dhamma Temple of Houston, which opened in 2022. And so this is the exact same color that, the same color.
And that you have fast. And there are many interesting things if you start understanding them. They are really clean. When they say clean, the place has to be neat. Yes,
Third week is on how do we transfer our culture and our way of life, bringing those values to the next generation without ambiguity. And this week, the fourth week is transcendence. This is where we, for a moment, if you would put aside the 1,000 years of our contribution that we have been here, if we could just forget that for a moment, and if we can imagine a future with our new value system, with the ethos, and how